Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Jefferson Highway Show. This historic highway was formed in 1915 by the Jefferson Highway Association. It runs from Winnipeg, Canada, all the way to New Orleans, Louisiana. Let's go! Hey everybody, we're super excited on today's Jefferson Highway Association show to talk about holidays on the historic highway. Like, really, this is so exciting. We're thinking about holidays going from Winnipeg down to New Orleans. And of course, on today's show, we've got Roger Bell, who's the president of the Jefferson Highway Association. And this is the association that made it happen. And I encourage you to go to the website, jeffersonhighway.org. So welcome back, Roger. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good evening. How's everyone today?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to tell you, Nancy and I are happy here in Natchitoches, Louisiana. You know, Natchitoches, CVB, the Convention Visitor Bureau, is a sponsor of our show. So I encourage people to go to natchitoches.com, and that is NATCHITOCHES.com. But we're here, and we were at the opening of the Christmas Lights Festival on Saturday night, and it was absolutely life-changing. Like, you know, one of those moments when you get really excited. It's a Christmas festival of lights, and they are celebrating 97 years. And I can't even tell you, there's live music, there's families and community, and oh my gosh, the fireworks and the lights, 300 sets of lights. Oh, no, over 300,000 lights and 100 sets of lights. Is that not nuts? Like, it's crazy cool. It's amazing. Have you been to the festival?
It is a great place to be. It's been, even before I was involved in the Jefferson Highway Association. I took my family several years ago on a Christmas time trip about this time of the year, and we went to south, and we went to Marshall, Texas, and then we went on to Natchitoches, and never been in that part of the country before that. We were just enthralled by it all, and little did I know that I would have in the future be on a podcast with those two communities tonight. And but it's really an exciting place to be. It's a great place to get yourself in the Christmas spirit. You know, there's just a few places in the country I think that are quite like that during this time of the year. It's just amazing how long this has been going on, and the history of it there. And it goes back all the way to the actual
light bulb
time of the Jefferson Highway. Yeah,
it goes back to the history of the highway, but it also goes back. I mean, the highway.
The light bulb itself, and
I mean,
the
highway.
Just,
the light
it's just really a great place to be. The fireworks, right there on the river there, and it's just and the shops downtown, which is, as you know, right on the Jefferson Highway route.
And Arlene's office is right on Front Street with all the wrought iron and everything.
Our friend and board member Arlene is right in the middle of it. So.
Oh my gosh! But next to her office is the Cane River Candy Company. Okay, so can I just say that is a very dangerous thing in the holidays. And then next to that, a couple doors down is the Cafe Frederick Mercantile Store, which has a little bit of everything. You can buy, you can get your keys made. You can buy a screwdriver.
I've been there also, and that's just one of those places you have got to go when you're in Natchitoches down on the area there, and it's just my wife connects Raggedy Ann. She has for many years, and we picked up a Raggedy Ann doll when we were there last time we were there. So
see, I want to go get, but Nancy and I travel full time, so it kind of is really rough to buy things like what we want. But they have cypress knees that are painted into Santas, like a whole collection of them. Like, I want the cypress knee Santa. I mean, come on. It's so cool because that's so Louisiana. And Louisiana's got its own flavor, just like you have up in Muskogee, Oklahoma, where Roger is. But I want to bring our guest, Lacey Burson, on. She is the Main Street Director for Marshall, Texas. And I think the closest Nancy and I have gotten to Marshall, Texas is Caddo Lake, which is swampy bayou country, and it's beautiful. But there's a main street that Nancy and I now need to go and discover, and we're going to do it. So, welcome to the show, Lacey. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. We're so excited to be here.
Lacey, how big is Marshall? Because I actually think I know someone who was born and raised there, an author that was on the show, and I'm thinking, okay, we have all these connections to Marshall. How
Yeah.
big is it?
So Marshall is about 23,000 citizens.
Wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. That's a nice,
Yes.
perfect size. I think Natchitoches, where we are right now, is like 40 something thousand
Mhm.
people, which for the parish, 20 something for the 20,000 something for, people in the city. So that's like the perfect small town size, I think, right?
Yeah,
You feel
absolutely.
cozy.
You,
You
it
you
is
know each
cozy.
other's gossip, right?
Yes, everybody kind of knows everybody, or at least there's a connection somewhere.
What is the main thing that for when people talk about, I want to get into main streets because I think that's really important and it connects to Jefferson Highway history. But when people think of Marshall, Texas, what would be the number one thing they think of?
So Wonderland of Lights is a very big draw for Marshall, Texas. This will be the 36th year that they have done um, Wonderland of Lights. Uh, we
Nice.
light we light our 1901 historical courthouse is lit up. It is the centerpiece of our downtown, and so it is lit up beautifully. We light that actually the day before Thanksgiving, and so then one of the things we have too in East Texas is we have an outdoor skating rink, which is not
Wow.
common. So people can come out and ice skate with the courthouse in the background. So that's really cool too.
So the courthouse is a big deal. How old is your courthouse?
It was built in 1901. So
Wow.
they
Okay.
call it, yep. So it's the 1901 Harrison County Historic Courthouse. It has been restored within the last like 10 years. And that is where our county judge resides with a few commissioners.
So any any naughty noo-noos that got nailed in the courthouse? I just got
Not that I know of, but it is a beautiful courthouse to come see. You can look up through the rotunda, and so it's a very beautiful
oh,
courthouse.
oh.
There's
Yeah.
some
Well, we
beautiful courthouses on the route. Marshall's will doesn't take a back seat to anybody, and it's a beautiful thing in the square there in Marshall. And we don't, in my area of Oklahoma, we don't have a lot of town squares, so I really love town squares. And this is Marshall has a very special one there, and the courthouse is the center of it. As
that's
and it's just if you're going to be there, Lisa, soon, you definitely will enjoy being there and take a look at the courthouse during the day, hopefully, and when the sun sets, it comes alive with the lights and all the activities that are around there.
that's
Yeah.
the thing. Nancy and I, Nancy is hearing the word courthouse and she's like perking up, like, I want to go, because I think we're going to have to do our, Nancy, for new listeners, Nancy and I travel full time across the country documenting parks and public land. And somehow now we're also documenting courthouses. And so I think we're going to have to do this big map of courthouses across the country. And on the Jefferson Highway, we've done so many courthouses. I think we're going to have to do a show on this after the conference, Roger, on courthouses
Yeah, there
because,
there is some beauties, and I civically love that, and I think it really comes to light on these communities during Christmas time on the squares, the courthouses. I don't know. I can think of several,
oh,
and
yeah, because
make
it's
a,
magical.
it's just kind of magical.
It
And
lights up the architecture
well,
and
you
people
think
don't like,
you think of
yeah.
Americana, you think of you see the Hallmark movies and all the things, Christmas events that are going on, and this is like you can go and actually live out that in these towns like this at this time of year, and
Oh, the
it,
Hallmark movies.
It just
Mm.
and I'm sure Lacey can tell you that there's more than just seeing lights down there. Lacey, you tell us a little bit of some of
Is
the
there shopping?
activities.
Food?
Yes. Yeah,
Can
so
we
we
buy fudge?
have yes, you actually can do all of those things in our downtown area. We have actually added in the last few years, we've had more stores come in, and so we have more retail. You can find unique gifts. You can get fudge. We have great
Yay.
places. We have some amazing places to eat as well. Um, and so we have a variety. We have Mexican, we have Italian, we have what I would call more of like American style. And we're supposed to we have a brewery that is going to have
Ooh.
a fondue pot is going to be
What?
their kind of one of their things that they're going to offer. And Bear Creek Smokehouse, which is a big um, oh gosh, they've been in our area for years and years and years. They are going to open up a new location in our downtown, and it's called the Marshall Mercantile. And so we are so
Oh,
excited about that.
that's really
Yeah,
cool.
we
I
And they
yeah
used
should
to,
be open. Fingers crossed, they're open this week.
oh,
yeah, it's a community I need to get into more. And when we go into the conference this year in Louisiana, I'm gonna make a special effort to get into Marshall because it's been a while since I've been there. But it's a uh, really neat downtown, and
Mhm.
and and during that my remembrance of it, I'm sure it's changed since in Lacey. There was things to do. There was eat for Christmas guests or downtown, and especially I'm sure on weekends, activities. And I remember some. Um, it seemed like I remember being on some kind of a ride or something.
Yeah. So we have a carousel, and I believe it is, and it's a Herschel carousel. And
oh,
Yeah.
and so we have that, and then we have what we call our trackless train. It's
oh,
and so it just takes you around town and shows you all the light displays. You can ice
no
skate.
way.
Yeah, and so then you can also we have what we call Santa's Village. And so the kids can come in and meet Santa and tell him what they would like for hold on one second.
Yeah, I remember taking my kids to seeing Santa, if I remember that, and because they were
I,
younger then.
yeah,
And
here when in Natchitoches, when the night of the opening night for the Festival of Lights, right? They had Santas and cookie making, and they have like the Santa bells and the Queen, the Christmas Queen, and they come in and they help decorate cookies with the kids and do all these things. And I think it's kind of fun to have like our Santa time, and I think there's something magical about holidays in these smaller communities.
yeah, I
I know we
agree.
have the big city
I
of
agree.
New Orleans, we've got Winnipeg, we've got some big cities, Kansas City, right? But there's these, and I know a lot of them have their neighborhood functions. So it's neighborhood or, you know, I just love that the community focus was really huge. That's what we noticed. We saw visitors and community interacting all ages here in Natchitoches. And I think Nancy and I kind of forgot, and I think that happens for everyone after COVID, that we
Hmm.
forgot how much, I mean, we know we missed all these events, but then when you're there at these events and you haven't been to one for a while, you're like, oh yeah, this is what the holiday spirit feels like. And this is what community feels like. And this is what it's like to feel like a kid again. And then you're like watching kids' faces absolutely bug out with joy, pure joy. And what it's like to wear a flashing Christmas tree thing around your neck is really cool too.
Well,
The
it,
Christmas
it, it
lights,
is. I
all
mean,
of that.
I think about these communities. I mean, if you're in a big city at Christmas time, or you live in a metropolitan area. Yeah, there's some Christmas displays, there's some things, but I don't think there's anything quite like venturing out and going to these smaller towns because
Kind of down home. Yeah.
you feel that down home. You see the Americana. You see
Hmm.
these people. They're just the passion they have for their community and their towns, and how proud they are to have you come there. And that's what it's like along the route. I mean, there's a lot of other locations along the route that have some significant Christmas events and attractions, and each one of them have their own type of flavor or different,
They're
events and
highlight to be proud
activities.
of. Yeah.
And a
Everyone's
lot
got
of them
something
have to
unique.
do with something that they have in their community. One that comes to my mind is in Bemidji, Minnesota, which is on the northern part of the route. And what is that community known for? It's known for one of the things it's known for is a beautiful community right on the lake there, but
Mm.
it's known for Paul Bunyan and
Yep.
the Babe the Blue Ox, which has been there for 90 years at least.
Oh my gosh.
And they have these beautiful, we talk a lot. People are always interested in the Muffler Man. This is pre-Muffler Man. These giant statues have been there since early 1930s, and they're well preserved. And then right around them, they have this beautiful wonderland of lights right on the lake, which reflects off the lake there. And that is a really growing event up in northern Minnesota. And we did try to get them on our show, but they're just so busy right now, they can't
Yep.
do it. But it is that's called the First City of Lights. That's what it's called, and they have a lot of different.
Mm.
They're adding something all the time up there, and it's just one of the things that they've incorporated this Paul Bunyan land basically into this light spectacular, and of course they have
Mm.
parades and things like that.
The parades are cool too. Like here, it started Saturday. So what day? November 9th. What, I don't know what day we're on now. 18th. And
Mm-hmm.
November 18th, and it goes all the way to Epiphany in January. And they have all kinds of events, kids festivals, all kinds of kids activities. Like next Saturday, after this airs on Thanksgiving, and we're airing this on Thanksgiving. The show
Right.
airs every fourth Thursday, and we're like, well, we're in the holiday season. Let's go for it. Um, we're going to go on Saturday night, and they're going to have drones doing like holiday light things. That is
Oh, I've never
rare.
seen that. Yeah,
I mean, we're talking the oldest city in Louisiana having some of the newest technology,
well, and
So it's crazy. It's
I
like
think
so
that's one of the
cool.
things we've talked about Marshall. I mean, Marshall was one of the first. I mean, a lot, growing up, and obviously you would go out to see lights in the community. You would drive around your neighborhood or whatever. A lot of times, I growing up, but these big community light shows really evolved, and Marshall was one of. I mean, I know that Natchitoches has been doing this for a while, but a lot of that was not done a lot until late '80s into the early '90s. And Marshall was one of the first ones that I know of around here to really make a mark on that. And there's just now it's around, but these communities here, they have so much track record in it, and they just keep adding something. They
Mm.
don't. And every year there's something a little bit different.
Like
And
ice skating. Like,
ice
that's it.
skating, yeah,
I want to
that's
see
one.
If Lacey can join us. Lacey, ice skating in East Texas. If he's in the piney side of Texas. Um,
Yes.
that's really fun, but I mean, is it just kind of grown every year? And where are people coming from mostly? Like, are you getting Dallas people going, let's go to small towns, or what's
So
happening on that?
we really get people from all over. So, Texas, we have people from Louisiana, we have people from Arkansas. And some of
Yeah.
it has been a family tradition that they come and hang out in Marshall and come to Wonderland of Lights And so they just keep coming back, and they bring their kids, and then they bring their grandkids. And so it's just
Right.
something that they love to do. And, where they're
Hmm.
able to do all of that. And there's a little bit of something for everyone. Like if you're not into ice skating, our shops are open. And if your kid is maybe just too little, they can ride the trackless train, or they can build a train in our Santa's workshop. And so there's a little bit of everything for somebody.
You have a trackless train. Here they have a horseless carriage, which I thought was cool. I was like, what am I filming? What is this?
Well,
Because it had all these lights
they
on it.
also have horse-drawn
Yes, they
carriages.
do. But I
Yeah,
was just fascinated, like, hey, we're not, using horses for anything anymore, kind of thing. Horses have been the backbone of America, in
yeah.
many countries as, workhorses and stuff. So I was fascinated by this. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen a horseless carriage in my life. And I'm like, what is this? And it's all decorated up. And I was like, I thought it was a street sweeper, but it's not. I was like, I
But
was
and
like, I don't know what it is,
we don't have a horseless carriage. We still have a regular carriage, and they come out, and they you can also ride that all around downtown. And the company that does it for us, they definitely give you a tour and give you some insight of what Marshall was and what Marshall currently is. So that's really cool.
That's what I remember. So,
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yep.
yeah,
I
So
think
we
any kind of guided tour gives you the history is so important. In Marshall, do you have any guided tours other than that you're going on the horse carriage? That's great because people have a slow way of it's like slow, right? And you don't have to
yeah,
wonder if you're going to trip on a sidewalk or something. You're on a
yeah,
slow carriage. You're doing it almost like what they did in back in the day, right? And you have
right.
someone telling you the stories and history. Are there any other kind of guided tours in your town, or is that to
We don't
come?
have a guide. No, we don't have a guided tour. Not of our downtown area. The only other tour that we have available is we have a self-guided tour of our new town neighborhood. And that's over by Wiley College,
hmm
which is, well, now it's Wiley University. They have just named that they are no longer Wiley College, they're Wiley University. And so, and that
Hmm,
is a historically black university in our city. And so
cool.
so we have a self-guided tour of that area, and
Oh, that's
of people
cool.
who are prominent in that area. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we could
Oh,
do a
that's
whole
cool.
show on that.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
like, I'm going back to George Carr. Yeah, don't start
Yeah,
me.
we
Uh,
definitely could. In fact, it was brought up. I don't know if you remember it, but that Wiley was brought up in the George Washington Carver
For segment. Yes, yes,
segment.
because
Yes, it
if
was.
you think about all the colleges, I mean, here we are, Northwest, and we could do, yeah. Anyway, Roger and I tend to go down rabbit holes, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to behave tonight. I'm going to try and keep in the holiday spirit here. But now you're not far, Marshall, Texas. You're
Mm-hmm.
not far from Gladewater. Like I was, just being on the highway the other
Yeah.
night. Gladewater, we were there in over the Halloween weekend and actually did a
Mm-hmm.
Halloween ghost tour with Memory, who owns and runs Walker Manor. And that was a couple years ago, I think.
Yes.
I
So
don't,
we're about 25 minutes. I will say, so Marshall is kind of where it is located, coming and staying in Marshall. You could stay in Marshall and travel like 25 minutes going almost in any direction and find a really cool town to visit along with Marshall.
I think I have
So
a funny
that's
feeling
really,
we came to you. I have a feeling we did because we went to Tyler and we didn't
mm-hmm.
realize that Tyler was close to Glade. You know what I mean? It's just like you're
Yeah.
doing your thing.
Yeah, we've got
And
long views on the route.
Yep.
And if you really want to go up north, it's not on the route, but you can go up to Jefferson, Texas, which is a
Yeah.
very historic.
yeah, yeah, but the route,
Uh,
like how we look at it is you're on the route, and Nancy have done, and I have done a lot of the route now, not like what Roger has done the whole thing, right? But
mm-hmm.
we need to do the whole thing. But I mean, this is a lifelong thing now because it's like you can never just cover it. You just can't just do it and say you've done it. I mean,
Right.
there's so many stories and there's so many shops. There's so much food to eat.
Yeah.
on the route.
We've been
And
doing this
this,
for, well, you mentioned food. I mean, that's an interesting thing because you're in, I'm sure you've had, I'm guessing maybe you've had a meat pie or two in
I had one
Natchitoches.
yesterday, and Nancy, yeah,
I
yeah, of
mean,
course we did.
you
And I think,
know, and
actually,
then
I
you
think I had
can,
two. Nancy and I were just saying that as soon as you arrive in Natchitoches, you put on 20 pounds.
you have to find these little things that are unique to these community, and food is one of them. And you just, it's just part of it. But we have, there's a lot of different communities that are kicking off this weekend, all their Christmas activities, and it's just, I'm, one of them is my hometown,
Yeah.
Muskogee, which has a festival that started, probably about 2 years after I moved back here. This is my hometown, but I was away for a while, and it's been going on, I want to say, since about 94 or so, maybe. And we have over 1 million lights in our park in Muskogee, Honor Heights Park. It's called the Garden of Lights, and it's just it is a drive-through, and it's usually backed up. And this
Is
weekend
that the
is
park we
beautiful.
went to, Roger? Just so I know where.
No, it is
The,
not. It's much bigger than
oh, wow,
that.
because
Much
that would
bigger.
be cool lit up too, because
Um,
that was the original
yeah, it
camping
is not. It's
spot.
up on the VA regional VA hospital is up
You
on the
mean we have
top
to
of the
come back?
park,
Okay.
but it has a winding through deal, and it's all it doesn't have Santa Claus. It's just the whole thing is like nature. It's all
Ooh,
natural things. So it has some fun little lights like frogs, squirrels, and deer,
I want to go.
and you go through it, and they have this unbelievable giant, super giant tree that is all lit up to different types of music, and you turn the radio on, and we also in my hometown have a inflatable. Not too far from the Garden of Lights is the inflatable in what we call the castle here in Muskogee, and
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah.
has you would not believe how many inflatables they have in this thing. I mean, it is as you drive through it, so you have to go to kind of both of them, and so people come here from Tulsa or Oklahoma City or regionally every year to see our Garden of Lights, and has just a small admission fee per car, just because they basically uh, buy more lights and stuff every year. It is every year they've got something different, so it's
Wow.
definitely worth seeing. There's other great places along the route that come to my mind. We talked
Can I go
about,
back? Can I just stop on Oklahoma
yeah,
City?
yeah.
Oklahoma, not Oklahoma City, but Oklahoma, Muskogee. That park that we went to was where the original tourist camp was, right?
That was a tourist camp. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
originally a city
Do they
park.
light that up at all? Because you had that beautiful little pond
No,
area with
it's
the fish.
it's not. We have an
No.
area that I did not take you to our the short time we were there, but
We're coming back.
we have a area to the south of there that's called the Depot District, and our museum is there that I've been involved in, and that area where we have our official Christmas tree and stuff there.
Oh, cool. Now,
Uh,
what about all the guitars in your downtown? You have all these painted
yeah,
guitars.
some of those are lit up, especially
Ooh.
I know I can think of one that I know is lit up along the route. But yeah, Chicago started that years ago with all the cows and stuff. So we got Pittsburgh, Kansas. You've got gorillas of their university, but
Yes.
we
Oh
have
my gosh, I want to go there oh, they're gonna have the
we
gorillas all
have
lit up.
garage,
Oh
but
my gosh, that's
Pittsburgh
so
has
cool.
quite a bit of stuff for Christmas
Oh
too. They
my
have
gosh,
a
wait,
big
Marshall, Texas, Lacey, do you have like animals lit up or anything? Do you have any of those? Like we
No, we
have
don't. We don't have any light up animals. But after y'all listed all of this, I'm like, oh, what kind of animal could represent Marshall?
well, you could have a gator because you got Caddo Lake. Do you have gators in Caddo Lake? I didn't see one when we were there. Um,
There are alligators in Caddo Lake, but that's
You know, you
mm,
know,
they're
you,
more the Louisiana side is more swampy than our side, and
yeah.
so because it goes
you
on
could
both
have,
sides, so
hmm.
You
Well,
gave
I'm
the
just
you
saying.
gave me this idea a while back. Lisa, but we are working on an official mascot for the Jefferson Highway, and I hope to unveil that at the upcoming conference. So
Priscilla, our pink
stay
sock monkey,
tuned.
is very excited. She's sitting here
stay
with bated breath,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. The mascot is important. Now, Marshall, Texas, do you have a mascot? You see, now everyone's going to have mascots and everything after this podcast. Sorry,
N-
Lacey. Welcome to the show.
No, I mean, our we have several we have the colleges, so they have their
Mm.
mascots, and
Ooh,
then our school, Marshall ISD, is the Mavericks. And then
I
East
like
Texas Baptist University is the Tigers, and then
Ooh.
Wiley is the Wildcats. So we have
Okay, now,
several different,
okay. Oh, so it's
lots of different
getting to
things
a
going on.
cat theme. I'm
Yes.
feeling the Marshall cat theme for Texas. I feel like go cats, like kittens. Maybe not kittens, but cats seems more of like a tigery kind of thing. I'm digging that. Um, I want to go back to also that you're a Main Street.
Yes,
I
we are
know I want to
Texas
go
Main
back to
Street.
Roger in a second because he's got all these towns doing amazing things, but the epitome of Main Street America to
Mm-hmm.
me is Christmas. Like when you think
Mm-hmm.
about, the holiday season, a small
Mm-hmm.
town, small a shop, small business Saturdays coming up.
Absolutely.
We're airing this on Thanksgiving, but I think that should be every day anyway. But um, with the way the world is going, Nancy and I both love about the Jefferson Highway is about taking the off interstate route, getting off of that, discovering the downtowns, these small communities that really do need that small business support. And while we all sit and whine about all these big conglomerates, then just get off your butts and go on the highway and go to these small towns and support them. And that's pretty much the one thing we can all do over this holiday season is go to small towns, go to the downtown, support the businesses, go to the coffee shop, go to the boutique, to me, I don't want to, you know, who wants to go in those, you know what I mean, those big box stores where you have to sit there under that really bright, horrible light and think if, like, try and put on clothes in there, that big, bright light versus going into a boutique shop and they're like, hey, well, no, this fits better on you here. You actually have people helping you. There's a difference, isn't there? You know what I mean, Lacey, about those two
Oh,
different kinds of stores. I don't,
absolutely.
that big bright white light makes you look horrible. Makes you
I
want
will
to die.
I will say we have some great downtown boutiques in Marshall, Texas, and they are all different. They have something, I literally think they have something for everyone. Like I can go into each one and buy something in a different style from almost every store that we have downtown. Um, we even this last year, Penelope Rhodes is a new boutique to our downtown, and they have brought a hat bar downtown. And so you
What?
literally can pick out your cowboy hat, and then
Oh,
you can
Nice.
pick out all the accessories that you want on your hat. And
we
then
can bling it up.
absolutely, or it can be as
Yeah.
simple or as crazy as you want it to, but then she can burn into the felt. And so then you get these really cool designs, and she does it
Okay.
all like same day. So it's really awesome.
Roger, are you still hanging with us? Because I know we're talking kind of girly stuff, but now we got into
Yeah, I am. I
hats,
mean,
cowboy hats.
The Jefferson Highway route in historic route in going in through Marshall comes in on Houston Street.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes in the square, it goes on the south side of the square, and it just goes right to the heart of the community. So you're talking about that. This is what most of these routes, most of the towns. There's very few of the towns that didn't just go right to the heart of the community, and that's when these routes were built. So they're perfect for tourism. They're perfect for
Shopping.
stopping at these small
Shopping. Stopping
places.
and shopping. Listen,
Yeah,
Roger,
yeah.
this is about retail therapy with a happy zone
Well, and
because
I
it's
think all of us fall into the
far
deal
better.
anymore. It's easy to get on the internet and try to find something on the internet. And, it is something, I think there really is something about shopping and finding something in these just
Well, what
makes it a
I've
lot more
heard
special.
recently on this Natchitoches experience over this past weekend, and everyone, the interview just aired already, but on Tuesday, our show with Natchitoches. But I was talking to a husband and wife, and let me tell you, the travel writers cleaned out downtown Natchitoches. Like they
Hmm.
went holiday shopping. They had 1 hour of free time, and all of a sudden, all these bags came into the CVB office, and I'm like, "What was this?" No, they had a ball because they found really unique things that they
That's
could
it.
pair up with
That's
their
it.
friends.
Yeah.
And the one man said, "Listen, I got into the mercantile. I was happy
Yeah.
because my wife could be on one side, I could be on the other side. We both found something. And then when it got into his wife doing, you know, the in-depth shopping, and this is when the husbands go like, now you're calling me to duty that I don't want to do. That's not my, you know, and I did say duty. Um, then you can, sorry. Um, there's such a thing as a bench outside, and small towns seem to understand benches are actually created for men waiting while their wives go into the shops and buy up the store, and they sit there with the other men having a conversation so they don't really lose their mind about their credit cards. Isn't that right, Lacey? Am I right?
Oh, oh, 100%. We have those benches strategically placed all over our downtown for people to have a place to sit while they're waiting.
Exactly. Roger, how happy are you about this conversation right now?
I will not to comment on that. No,
Oh,
I have
well
used
put.
that a few times, but I would say there's a few times, I'm going into a bookstore or my
Oh, well, there you
or
go.
maybe a unique men's shop or something that my wife sat down on the benches. So I
Oh,
think
oh,
that
well
they
done.
can be used the other way around.
All right. Well done, Roger. You get points. You got points. You got points. You got points on this show for sure. Now, wait a minute. You mentioned bookstores. I think that's very important. Main streets and downtowns, when we have something like a bookstore or a record store, it's like I literally bow down whenever I see one. I don't know about you guys, but like it's such a rarity these
Well,
days.
and
And
antique stores, something
oh,
you'll find me going
yeah.
in quite a bit.
Now,
But
Marshall, Texas, do you have, I know Gladewater is like the East Texas capital of antiques, and they have a Christmas store, everybody. I got to tell you, Nancy and I have our pickle ornament, even as we travel full time on the road. It is the Greenwood's Christmas store. We had an interview with Mr. Greenwood, and basically, even his house is a Christmas store. They are so into Christmas. And then he taught us about the tradition of the pickle, the German pickle. And we have German heritage. And if you find the pickle ornament, apparently in your family, someone hides the pickle ornament in the house. And if you find the pickle, you get an extra present because, back in the day, they would always have these extra presents for anybody that just showed up or whatever. You get that extra present. So Nancy and I have the pickle, and wherever we are on the road, because it's small, we celebrate Christmas. We bring out the pickle and Priscilla, of course. But the pickle is a big deal. And these Christmas shops, I think, they're so specialized. And I just want to say when people do retail and they go and invest in all of this, it's they take such a huge risk on making it all happen. And I think when we go to these small towns and people really go out there and do it, we've really got to help. We got to be part of it, and you've got to go get your pickle. But that's interesting how Gladewater turned, they were such an oil town, and then the oil kind of panned out. Didn't say that, but it did. And then they went into antiques. So Marshall, Texas, do you have antiques? Do you have what kind of shopping can we go to, Lacey?
So we definitely we have more boutique style shopping. And we have a really awesome, we don't have a bookstore. But that's a great idea.
Yes.
But we do have we do have, it's called Blackbird Bathhouse. It is all these amazing soaps and bath bombs and sugar scrubs and
Ooh,
all of these things that you can find in big retail stores, but these are all handcrafted in Marshall,
ooh,
Texas, and by this shop owner. And so they're amazing. So that's like an amazing experience. Like when you go in, it's just a wonderful
mm.
aroma. And there are things for men as well in this store. She does great beard oils and all of those kind of
Oh,
things.
Roger.
Yeah.
See, Roger.
I
Yeah,
told you.
So
see, yeah,
so
this.
it's a great unique spot to stop in. And then we're excited the Mercantile when it opens is going to be kind of just an eclectic of items that you can buy. So
So I
That's right on
find
the
this
square.
interesting, Roger, with the Jefferson Highway, all these communities. Nancy and I've done quite a bit of travel on the highway this year, and we've done some of it in like the early spring where it was like, uh-oh, it's cold, and we've done it in summer, and we've done parts of it in fall. We've done it, in all kinds of. It's actually pretty amazing. We've done it in a little bit of all seasons now, and we'll be doing more. Um, Roger, these small towns to me, I feel like the holiday season, get out there, go do it. But it is like the Jefferson Highway is kind of like the main street, right? On all these
Yeah, and we're
main
making a lot.
streets.
I mean, we're talking a lot about Texas because we're making a lot of progress in Texas right now. That what we didn't. A lot of people didn't. I know people are still discovering us. That's no surprise. But there's a lot going on in the communities in Texas right now, and we're excited about that as we start seeing signage. I just spent a weekend in September in Bonham, Texas, where the whole town now has signage all the way through town now, and they're really embracing us there. We have friends in Denison. I've been talking to a lot of different small towns in Texas over the last a few months, and it continues to evolve. And that's what we hope to see is these small towns and these types of tourists. That's what they want to see. They want to. We just talked to some people recently from England that want to do the whole route next year. And that's what they want to see. They want to see the America, the small towns. They're not interested in going to the big box stores or, that doesn't interest them. It's, seeing these small shops, seeing the uniqueness of each community.
Mm,
And for those that do want to travel this time of the year, it's a lot of fun to just see each one of these communities
mm.
embracing Christmas time and putting their special efforts and uniqueness into it.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Like just even the fact that Marshall is pretty close to, well, everything's close for us since we travel full time. But I think Marshall and Natchitoches and then Gladewater and even there's these routes you can create. You don't have to do the Jefferson Highway all in one swoop.
Mhm.
You can do
Mhm.
little portions and veer out. We always say 3 hours out off the route is still part of that corridor. And I think
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing. And what do you think about that, Lacey, for you guys on the Main Street? The Main Street programs I know are always kind of like that mixed. The ideal Main Street is like people living and working, like you want the architects and the accountants there, as well as like the restaurants and maybe a hotel and things. So it's for the residents, but it's also for tourists too. You want the visitors to come in.
oh, absolutely. So um we have places for people to stay downtown. We have a great bed and breakfast, like a traditional bed and breakfast, and then we also have Airbnbs that are popping up on in our downtown area. Um, so they're right there, right in the mix of everything. Then we also have people that are there just to work, and then we have our retail. So we have a great mix of, and then we have people who just want to live downtown and
Mhm.
we have
Mm.
some people coming in and creating these unique spaces for people to actually to be able to live downtown and be in the hustle and bustle everything. Yeah.
That's
That's
very
amazing.
important. Being on a Main Street board myself in my past is getting people to when you can get people to want to live in your downtown and create things like
Hmm.
that, it's a huge, huge part of the process.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
and I
we
commend
definitely
you
have
for
a
that.
nice community of people who live downtown of various age, and some are retired and they wanted to live downtown in smaller
Really?
apartments, and yeah, and then some are
Wow.
just younger and they wanted a place to be so that they could be downtown, and so yeah, it's a
That's
great.
interesting. That's
Hmm.
neat to hear about the different age groups because normally
Hmm.
downtown is like, I want to be hip. I want to be downtown. Just go down to the restaurant, come back to work. You know, it's interesting now also with remote work, right? And I
Right.
think that people will live downtown just to go work in a coffee shop and not be at home alone, you know?
Well, and how cool would it be to be? I'm sure they fill up, but neat would it be to be at this Christmas event and actually stay in B&B or some lodging right
Oh,
down on the square?
seriously.
Hmm.
B&Bs are the best during the
Yeah.
holidays. Really,
And
they'll tailor make the breakfast according to the season. Like, really? It's cool.
yeah, I mean, I got to stay in Carthage, Missouri last year during an
Oh,
event like this, and
nice.
beautiful, beautiful courthouse, unbelievable, beautiful courthouse made out of their native stone in that area, and it's just there's just you can't beat it. I mean, staying in a chain hotel just doesn't work. And as you know, we have started a historic lodging association, and we just had our ninth member join us, and we just kicked this off earlier this year, and we're growing. And my goal is to find almost every one of the communities of certainly any size along the route that we establish, a member historic lodging, and people can work together and build this. It's just part of traveling the route.
Yeah, because it's special, right? So many of us are traveling for experience. So during the holiday
Mm-hmm.
season, I can tell you, Nancy and I both, you know, we get in our geeky little computer minds and we're doing our little work, and then it's like, boom, we've got to go outside. We're like, what? Talk to people, do things, right? And we go out. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you the joy. That would be the word.
Mm-hmm.
What Natchitoches brought to the table. And we went out, we met people, we had a wonderful lunch at Mercy Baku. Oh, I can't pronounce anything. I
Merci
can't.
beaucoup.
Mercy Baku, you got it. Oh,
Yeah, that was
you did it.
that was
You did
part
it.
of our conference
He knew.
in 2019. They provided our banquet, so
Wow, but it's a gas station. It was a
it's a gas
historically a gas
station.
station. Yeah, so we're sitting there
Exactly.
going, "Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, we're right by the Jefferson Highway Park. We're here doing this." And so
Mm-hmm.
anyway, everyone go scroll back to 2 days ago's interview for Natchitoches. We have the owner of Mercy Buku on the show and talking about that. And I think for anybody that is a traveler and understanding these historic gas stations and historic highways, I mean, it really is. And then you go to these, you go out on a river and you see people that live on the other side of the river where you're standing. And they bought that house. They have a lot more money than we do. Like whoever has those houses on the other side of the river, they have money. And
Do
but
they
I'm
have
like,
the river cruise going during this
not right
time?
now because the river is low. Louisiana's in
Okay.
a drought, and I never thought
Okay.
I'd ever hear that
I know that I went
happen.
on it in 2019. I'm just thinking that would be kind of cool during the Christmas
Yeah,
season.
normally that's a normal thing. But right now the water's low, but today we got a whole bunch of rain, so I think maybe this El Nino weather will help Louisiana, but I never ever thought in my life that Louisiana would be low on water, but it did kind of happen this year. Um, but it's beautiful. We went on a drive out along there's the Cane River Heritage Highway. It's a scenic byway that we went out on yesterday. And they do have fall colors in Louisiana, believe it or not. We went to the Cane River Commissary, which is it was the original commissary. You've got to think about this in plantation land, the Bermuda Plantation, which is part of Melrose Plantation, Oakland Plantation. We actually met one of the Perdomes, which is the Brudomes, which is a very historic family here. Anyway, it just is, and go to these towns. You just don't know who you're going to meet when you get out there, and be open to meeting the people, and you never know what's going to happen. And it is just, I think the best thing is people smile and say hello in small towns. And it reminds you to put your phone away and actually experience something. We talk about travel and tourism now. People want experience over everything. Well, put your phone in your pocket. Yes, you want to take photos and do things. But remember, when you're out, go to these places, these small towns, go on this historic highway, do these experiences. Yes, take your photos. Yes, do all that. But remember to meet the person next to you, because these small towns will say hello and smile and welcome you. And they really, really do. And they mean it genuinely from the bottom of their hearts. Like that is who, what, and where. Nancy and I have done a lot of the highway, and I don't care where we are. Like, people say, "Hey, be careful. You're going to step on this. Don't fall off the edge of the road here when you're taking a photograph." People have stopped for me to take a photograph of a mural in their car. Just stop. No, you're taking a photo of the mural. I'm stopping so you can take it. I'm not going to get in your way.
Well, each one of these communities has, to me, has a story. I always am fascinated by things as we travel, and things that I learn every day. We've had it, for example, we've had a music program, as you remember, on the highway. We've talked about more, but
Don't get me started on that.
Marshall has his interesting history on it. It's really considered, from my understanding, the birthplace of boogie woogie music.
Really?
And there is
Lacey.
There is an historic marker there.
You got the boogie woogie.
Yes.
And
we do have the boogie woogie.
You got that boogie woogie.
It's just like, it's one, we talk about this route and how many interesting things you find. And we talked about, okay, it is kind of like a jazz music highway from all the way to New Orleans and
Nancy's
Kansas
got the
City.
giggle. She's laughing over here.
And we've got, my hometown has music history. It's just like, and not very far from there is where Johnny Cash wrote "I Walked the Line." I mean,
that's Gladewater, Texas.
Gladewater, and now you got Marshall. You got the
and
birthplace
Elvis was
of
there.
Boogie music.
Elvis was there on his when he was driving a truck. He stopped and wrote stuff and went to the old Opry in Gladewater. But okay, I want to know the boogie woogie. Like, you got the boogie woogie.
Lead Belly. I think he's one of them. Yeah.
What? You mentioned Lead Belly. Don't. Oh.
Well, he's one of the ones that was first heard in East Texas.
Lazy, what's going on in your town? I want to know.
I mean, it's just, and I know that they also have a really neat railroad museum there, if I remember right.
We do.
Beautifully restored and very unique place. So.
Okay, so that's it. We're coming to Marshall, Texas. You got the boogie woogie. You got Lead Belly? You got the Lead Belly there? Lead Belly.
So we have Boogie Woogie, which he is known, his music style, because he gets it from the sounds of the train and like mimicking those things. So he is like, people use his style of music in their style of music. And so that's what he's known for. And so one of the big things that happened this year was the very first time that happened in Marshall, Texas, is we had the Boogie Woogie Festival.
Really?
Yes. And it was a 2-day music festival that happened just right outside of our Main Street district in our historic Gennaquio district, which is which includes our T&P depot that has been restored and has a museum in it, but it also is still used today for Amtrak. And so people can come and jump on the Amtrak here in Marshall and travel all over, actually. But so Boogie Woogie, so Boogie Woogie was the first year that they did a festival. And I don't know how familiar you guys are with like Del Watson and
Hmm.
that style of music,
Yep.
but it was all about that and just bringing different types of music together to
Oh,
celebrate
see,
Boogie
oh,
Woogie. And
okay. You,
so
ooh,
there will be a Boogie Woogie Festival in 2024. And
what,
so
what month?
Well, I'll have to put that
What
on my
month?
it will
calendar.
be, I believe, I don't want to tell you wrong, but I believe it is going to be in September.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so be
Oh,
on the lookout. It will be in September.
okay. One of us has to go because listen, I'm a blues person. I'm all in. I'm in. No, like every band I've been in is, and I'm talking about I've played with Canned Heat and you know Flying Burrito Brothers, Moby Grape, all of those guys, and they're John Lee Hooker people. Boogie
I
Woogie
Yeah.
thought
was part of it.
I thought that might interest you, Lisa.
Oh, you got me on a roll.
So,
Another rabbit hole. Are you kidding
Marshall,
me? I did
Marshall
not know
was,
this.
Marshall, this year we have got from the state of Texas, we are now a Texas music friendly city. And so their goal is, I know that for 2024, we have, uh, a bluegrass festival in April, and they're in the works. It's not set yet, but we're supposed to have a blues festival in May, and then the Boogie Woogie Festival in September.
Oh,
So we're all
okay.
about music all the time.
Well,
One of the other big things that we do is that it's called uh, I don't know, I'm going to say it wrong. Texas Music International Country Music Awards. And so there is a group that brings in this last year. They did 3 days of performances, and it is not people from America singing Texas country. It is people from 12 different countries that
oh, I
come
got it.
together and
Yeah.
perform. And then they have a judge on site that picks the winner. And so we had people from Canada, we had people
Heard
from
of this. I've actually heard of this.
yes,
I have heard of this.
yes.
That is so cool.
So it's really cool. And Canada is probably the closest place that people travel from to come.
Oh, then you
And
got
Now,
Keith
so
do
Urban,
you
right, from
are some
Australia.
of these
You
events
saying.
at the Marshall City Hall Performance Center? Is that where they are?
yes,
Or,
so the Memorial
yeah.
City Hall Performance Center, which is also one of our restored buildings
Mhm.
in our downtown area. It was our original city hall that was used many, many years ago. Has been restored to be this performance center. And so, yes, that the Texas International Music Country Music Awards does happen in that building.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. This
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely amazing. I mean,
So,
honestly, talking about this is just okay. We're coming to see you very soon. We're
oh,
going to come to
absolutely.
Marshall very soon. I had no clue. I feel really dumb and stupid that we didn't just like really get into your
Well,
community sooner. But that's the thing.
Lisa, you know, I always bring good guests, good communities on.
Yeah, I know, but like this is the thing. Like Roger's like, well, this person. I'm like, okay. And then next thing you know, I'm like, all right, we're gonna have to go. And then all of a sudden we'll be there. And you may not know because sometimes we arrive at really stupid times, but um we have to come to, I mean, listeners, come on. This is amazing music history. And we're going to have to do a Jefferson Highway music show coming up super soon. Um, we've got to go, everyone.
Mhm.
Please go to jeffersonhighway.org, get involved on their Facebook group, which is fabulous. I love the Facebook group. I'm like, I see things about the highway every single day that you just go, wow, this history is real. And I think it's so interesting about these holidays on the highway. We're talking about shops and food and everything, but you've got to think these are all these agricultural communities, and this is a time of celebration. And the whole highway was created by the editor of Better Homes and Garden magazine back in 1915, right, Roger? I always want
Yes,
to, for new
yes.
listeners, bring them
Yeah,
back to
it
the
goes,
founding of
Historic
this.
Highway goes back to 1915, and our organization was reformed in 2010, and we have an annual conference every year. And before I leave, I would like to tell you that very soon, probably in the next couple of weeks or less, our registrations are going to start for our 2024 conference and our pre-conference caravan in Louisiana, which is we'll be going to stay at the historic Bentley Hotel in downtown Alexandria, Louisiana, and we have some awesome speakers this year. We really went over the top this year on that, and we have some great activities planned, including a 1920s era street festival on Friday night in downtown Alexandria. We're going to kick it off in the Monday of the last week in April in Shreveport, and we're going to drive along the Jefferson Highway. And where we're going to go? We're going to go through Natchitoches and spend the night overnight with some of our friends in Natchitoches before we head into Alexandria. So we're excited about that. Registration, again, look for it on our website first week of December, hopefully.
Everybody, listen, you're going to love the sociability runs. This is like a sociability cat. I didn't even know that was a term until last year, or was it this year with you guys being up in Mason City, Iowa?
Yeah, we travel the route together. We'll have our Jefferson Highway car magnets.
It's a communal road trip, basically.
It's
like
just
you got a convoy. You remember
You're
that
gonna
movie?
eat some great eats, great shopping, great fun, great camaraderie, and we did it this year in Iowa for 3 days, and it was such a success. We touched just about every community in Iowa, and so we're going to do it from Shreveport to Alexandria.
That's awesome.
So we're looking forward to that.
And listen, when you get to Natchitoches, eat the meat pie.
There you
Every
go.
place has a thing. Lacey, before you go, what do we need to eat in Marshall, Texas? What is a flavor we must savor?
Oh my goodness. So I will say you would be surprised how many taco trucks we have in Marshall, Texas. So surprised. And then we just also got a Honduran truck in Marshall, Texas. And so they have empanadas. They do empanadas, which is very similar to your Natchitoches meat pies, but you can't call it a Natchitoches meat pie because it's definitely an empanada. You can. It's different. It has.
But if you like a meat pie, you're gonna like an empanada, and vice versa.
You are, and so I just think But we also have some great brick and mortar restaurants here in town. We have some great Italian food as well. In our downtown, we have the Pizzeria by Pietro's. You can come in and you get pizza or you get pasta. It's just so homey, and so it's a great place to eat. And it has great views of the courthouse.
Okay, we're coming to your courthouse. We're going to come see you. We're going to go to the main street because the main street is important. It's the vein of America. It's like the lifeblood. It is. It is the beating heart.
And I will say, our main street, Christmas, they are over the top. But when you drive down our main street, you will see some of the most beautiful decorated windows that, I'm partial to them because I love all of my merchants downtown, but they just go above and beyond to decorate their stores for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And so they're so unique. I will tell you one of the coolest ones this year that they decorated, Addictions by Rhonda. They're in the old general store, which was big enough for a car to fit through their front door. So this year they drove like an old car through the front of their door and parked it, and now it's stacked with presents. And so it's a very cool thing to see.
Cool.
Lacey, what is the website that people can learn more about Main Street, Marshall, Texas? I was looking at your Facebook. Is that the best place?
Yes. So our Marshall Main Street Facebook page definitely gives you the most info about our downtown, but you also can find a lot of information on marshalltexas.net as well. That's our city website. Absolutely. But for the most, if you want to know up-to-date events and what's happening in the area, our Marshall Main Street Facebook page is definitely one to like and share.
Everyone, it's Main Street Marshall TX on Facebook. Check it out, and keep up to date there. And we'll be doing that soon. And of course, we want to thank Natchitoches Convention Visitor and Convention Bureau. Arlene is an awesome part of really promoting the highway, and they actually were one of the first conferences, right, for the Jefferson Highway when not back in the day, but
we were a conference in 2019 in Natchitoches.
Yeah, and she sucked us in, so she knows people who like rabbit holes like Nancy and I, and Roger. He does it too. So everyone, it's NATCHITOCHES.com. Natchitoches.com is the website. And honestly, come down here if you can get here for the holiday season. If not this year, go to the next year. It is absolutely mind-blowing, amazing, feel good, all ages, happy zone, and good music. Oh my gosh, the bands. We were talking about music. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. With some Cajun flair, it is some good stuff going on downtown. So everyone, please, come out here and enjoy Natchitoches. And also, go to jeffersonhighway.org as always and keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Thank you so much, Roger. Thank you, Lacey.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank you for joining us here on the Big Blend Radio Jefferson Highway Show. The show airs every fourth Thursday, and we encourage you to go to jeffersonhighway.org to learn more about the Jefferson Highway Association or even become a member. You can also dig into the history of the highway and share travel notes with friends at the Jefferson Highway Association Facebook group. Follow our shows at bigblendradio.com. Happy travels!